Hello beautiful peoples, you are welcome to today's online tutorial. In this video, we'll be learning how to draft a basic skirt, that is a pencil skirt, a straight long pencil skirt. So if you have been finding it difficult to cut your pencil skirt, then please watch this video to the end so that you'll be able to understand how to cut it. It is a detailed video. So let's dive into the tutorial. So these are the basic lines we need for this making of this skirt. From your waist to your hip line, I used about 8 inches for this line. When bringing out your vertical measurement, you can use, for medium size, you can use 8 inches. So I used 8 inches for this person, but because I'll be using half an inch to fold the upper part, I decided to make it 8.5. Then the nail part, I used 18 inches. Then your full length. The full length of this skirt is 38 inches, but I added 2 inches for seam allowance, but you can decide to reduce yours or add more to it. So after bringing out your basic measurements this way, the next thing you do is to bring out your horizontal measurements. Our waistline, our skirt waistline is 36. Dividing it by 4 will give us 9 inches. So when you mark 9 inches, you add 1 inch for sewing allowance. You add 1 inch for your dart line. After which you add about 1.5 inches for your waist, for your sewing allowance. Then you come to the hip line and divide your hip measurements by 4. Our hip measurement here is about 43 inches. Dividing it by 4 will give us 10.75 inches. So I'll approximate it and make it 11 inches. Let me just fold the fabric to match up. So our hip measurement, after dividing it by 4, we've got 11 inches. Then plus 2 inches for seam allowance. When you come to the nail part, you minus about 1.5 inches from whatever you have as your hip measurement here. Here we have about 13 inches as our hip measurement. Then we minus, take note, you can minus up to 2 inches if you like, if you want it very pens, but if you don't want it that penciled, you can use just 1.5 inches. So when we minus 1.5 inches from this 13 inches, we will have about 11.5. That is what you also mark on your full length measurement. After marking it that way, you connect your lines. After connecting your lines this way, you bring out your dart measurement. To know your dart, the amount of dart measurement you take is to divide your bust measurement by 8 minus 1. So let's just quickly do that. So I decided to use 4 inches for the dart line. So from this folded part, you mark 4 inches frontward as your dart line. Then from your waistline downward, you mark 4 inches also. So that is where you'll be holding your dart line to. when you are sewing, you sew with half inch and end at this 4-inch point that you marked. You can extend it to 5 inches if you like. So let's cut out. So as you can see, you see that the skirt that is already formed. So we'll go to the back part and cut. The only thing we'll do at the back part is just to place this one on the back and cut exactly what we have in the front. So just watch what I will be doing. So as you can see, you see that after placing my front fabric on the back part, I measured about 1 inch that we use for zip allowance. So the back is wider than the front with about, when opened, about 2 inches, but when it is unfolded, it's just about 1 inch. So when your fabric is unfolded, you just minus 1 inch for zip allowance. To economize your fabric, the part that you used as your waistline before, this time to be at the down part of your back fabric, to economize your fabric, to avoid wasting fabrics. So after doing that, the next thing you do is just to cut it out. So it is as simple as ABC. It's not that hard. So after cutting, you see that the front and the back, you see the front and the back. This is the front part and this is the back part. So after cutting this way, in your front, the fabric that is going to be on your front, you minus about ½ inch downward this way, and you connect it to this part that is opened. And cut out. This is just to enable the front part to sit properly on your waist after wearing it. So this is the end of this tutorial. So please, if you enjoyed the video, you can like it and share as well.